As we look to the weekend, temperatures are going to be about 20 to 25 degrees above average. How long the warm-up sticks around for in the full forecast.
And the El Paso airport in Texas back open at this hour. What caused the FAA's unprecedented shutdown announcement?
And new changes are implemented to SNAP programs. The rising concern over Wisconsin's ability to meet the requirements. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening, and thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson.
And I'm Eric Franke. We begin tonight with a look at the forecast. The trend of these above average temperatures continues.
Oh, we're loving it, Blaze. How much longer?
Well, we've got to wait, I would say, 2 days before we get into the 50s, arriving on Saturday. So Valentine's Day through most of next week, we are going to be in those warm temperatures. Tonight, we'll settle into the 20s underneath mostly cloudy conditions. A light rain snow mix possible for parts of Iowa, as well as Lafayette and Grant, Crawford counties, maybe into Richland County as well. But it is going to be light in nature and likely will stick into parts of Iowa, if not northern Illinois, as we go from about 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll be clearing out those clouds as we get into the rest of Thursday, which means our temperatures will be climbing into the upper 30s to the mid 40s. So not quite the 50s, but we will get there, as I said, starting on Saturday, arriving a little bit sooner than when we would normally see our first 50s. If they do arrive on Saturday the 14th, we normally see them a little later than that. Around February 22nd is when we officially kind of welcome in the average for 50-degree day or higher in the Madison area. So the 50s stick around into the start of next week. Do they bring any rain, thunderstorms, or do we see more of a rain-snow mix? We'll take a look in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. One person is dead after a fiery crash with a semi near Tomah. The State Patrol says the accident happened last night on I-94 at mile marker 141. According to the State Patrol, a vehicle and a semi were involved. Both vehicles caught fire. The driver of the vehicle died in the crash. No word on the condition of the semi driver.
City of Madison officials say they're stepping up safety efforts after the deadly crash involving a high school senior. Last week, 17-year-old Sasha Rosen was killed while in a crosswalk on Park Street. Family members and those in the community have now launched the website safestreetsforsasha.org as a way to end what organizers call traffic violence. City staff say that they're using quick build projects to make dangerous streets safer, faster.
So another example of some quick builds that we put in are bump outs, so kind of narrowing the roadway at intersections. Also raised crossings, we're putting in a lot of those, especially near path crossings. So like Atwood Avenue, we put in several raised crossings, really just prioritizing pedestrians, bicyclists.
From lowering speed limits and flashing beacons to raised crossings and traffic circles, engineers say these changes are key to preventing future tragedies on Madison streets.
The FAA's unprecedented 10-day shutdown of El Paso's airport lasted only a few hours.
The announcement and its reversal appears to be rooted in anti-drone laser technology, Mexican drug cartels, and a party balloon. Chris Van Cleve has details.
CBS News has learned disagreements between the FAA and the Department of Defense triggered the unexpected grounding of flights at El Paso's airport, stemming from the Pentagon testing high-energy laser anti-drone technology out of nearby Fort Bliss. Earlier this week, the technology was launched after foreign objects were spotted in the air near the southern border. It turned out to be a party balloon that was shot down. Sources tell CBS News the Pentagon was ready to resume testing the tech, and that's when the FAA Administrator Brian Bedford closed the airspace without alerting the White House or other key departments. On Wednesday, after lifting the ground stop, the administration said it had been put in place because Mexican cartel drones breached U.S. airspace, and the Defense Department acted swiftly to address the incursion.
There's no threat. There was not a threat.
Democratic Congresswoman Veronica Escobar represents the area. She says drones from Mexico are not unusual.
The information coming from the administration does not add up, and it's not the information that I was able to gather overnight and this morning.
For several hours overnight, passengers were stranded, some thinking the worst.
I don't think I've ever read of any airport in the United States and the world that's been shut down for 10 days, other than war.
Just a handful of flights were canceled at El Paso's airport Wednesday, but the city's mayor says a plane with surgical equipment was diverted. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News.
State senators are voting on a bill that would define grooming in Wisconsin. It defines grooming as a pattern of behavior with intentions to condition, seduce, solicit, lure, or entice a child to have sexual behavior. That includes intercourse or sexual pictures. Lawmakers say right now there is a gray area within state law.
Grooming means you're sort of gaining that child's trust over a period of time and making them more comfortable with activities that they might not know are wrong. We just want to make sure we have the tools to intervene before an assault happens.
The vote comes as schools here in South Central Wisconsin respond to inappropriate incidents involving students and school staff. Police say a Madison school teacher sent sexual text to a teen in Texas and was charged February 6th. Then on Monday, police arrested Mount Horeb coach David Chancellor for alleged inappropriate communications with a student. And just yesterday, the Oregon Police Department said it was investigating 2 separate incidents that involved staff members and students.
The state Senate also took up 5 bills related to transgender minors. The proposals range from minors needing parental consent to change their pronouns at school to barring trans athletes from participating in girls' sports and prohibiting gender-affirming medical intervention for minors.
We are hearing directly from families that this is causing real pain for the kids in their lives. And causing a lot of fear and uncertainty.
We truly do believe that the transgender surgeries, as well as hormones, specifically for minors, they're not promoting truth of one being in their biological gender, but it also causes lots of long-term harm, lots of long-term pain.
All 5 of these bills passed along party lines. 4 will head to the governor's desk where they will likely be struck down, and the other one is scheduled to be heard in the assembly tomorrow.
Today, agriculture and hunger relief groups urge state lawmakers to supply millions of dollars in food share funding to the state.
News 3 Now's Jalen Banks joins us with what they had to say.
Since the passage of the Big Beautiful Bill, there have been a slew of adjustments for those involved with food share in our state. And for the groups involved in today's media briefing, they hope to shed light on the urgent need for funding for food share. The State Department of Health Services estimates that just over $69 million is needed to implement the changes to food share operations since the passage of the Big Beautiful Bill.
This is why this request is supported by such a broad coalition. Today, we're asking lawmakers, that's the governor, Republican leaders, Democratic leaders, all members of the legislature, to work together now to bring this funding to the floor promptly.
This will include just over $32 million to cover administrative costs after those costs shifted from 50% to 75% for states after the passage of the bill. $16 million for additional county staff and DHS staff positions. This aims to keep the food share error rate low. And just under $21 million to support the FSEP program, which helps people reach the newly required work requirements for food share.
And now that there is more work, there are more people who need to do more things. It is extremely important that we have the workers in place to make sure that everybody who is coming through the door understands what they need to do and can do it on deadlines so that their food share is not disrupted.
According to DHS, just under 80,000 food share recipients across Dane, Rock, Sauk, and Columbia counties lost all or some of their food share benefits. And food share benefits not only impact those buying the food, but those who make it as well.
Food share brings more than $1 billion of spending power into our state every year. That flows not only through grocery stores, but back through cheese plants and into dairy farms like the one my family owns. This is particularly true for small processors like us and mid-sized processors. We don't have the ability to absorb shocks to the system the way that larger companies do.
For more on food share sets, you can find them under the article for this story on our website.
Jalen, thank you. The University of Wisconsin has found UW-Madison's interim chancellor now. Dr. Eric Wilcox, the current dean of UW-Madison's College of Letters and Science, will take over May 17th, filling a vacancy caused by the departure of Jennifer Mnookin for Columbia. Dr. Wilcox, a familiar face on campus, he started as a lecturer in the Department of Astronomy back in 1995 and has since gone on to serve as interim provost in 2023. After a brief government shutdown, the delayed January jobs report is out. It is stronger than expected. Employers added 130,000 jobs last month, double economists' expectations. While the unemployment rate ticked down slightly to 4.3%, Bankrate warns if you're looking for a job this year, approach the search with cautious optimism.
Job search times are certainly taking much longer than would have been in the past. This is not a red-hot job market. We now have fewer job openings than we have total unemployed, and that means that people are going to have to be patient, maybe a little more diligent or creative as they look for work out there.
Experts add January's job growth may also reflect seasonal hiring in retail and logistics after the holidays, plus winter weather-related shifts that kept some businesses busier than usual.
Well, Valentine's Day is coming up soon, and financial experts have some tips for couples trying to work on their finances together. They say to start by setting aside a specific time and place to have the conversation. Establish some ground rules, no judgment, just open dialogue to share information.
Just be open-minded and ask the person, how they arrived at how they are treating money and talking about money. And that can just help you both get on the same page.
And it's work. Experts also recommend playing to your strengths. If one handles day-to-day bills, that works, and the other manages investments, that's fine too.
UW Health stressing the importance of colon cancer research. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and UW Health is preparing to host its 25th annual Bowling for Colons fundraiser. And this year, 9 bowling alleys will participate with over 200 lanes involved, all with a goal of raising $75,000 for the Carbone Cancer Center.
It's just a really great way to have fun and also support our community directly. I am participating. My team name is called Bowl Movements, so pretty proud of that. 75% of the members on my team are under the age of 6, so I do not have high hopes for our success, but we'll have a good time. It'll be awesome.
And the Bowling for Colons fundraiser set for Sunday, March 1st. There are sessions in both the morning and afternoon for teams of 4 to 5 people. Registering includes 3 games and shoe rental. If you'd like to participate, a link to register can be found through our website, channel3000.com.
Next at 10, Blaze tells us more about the even warmer weather headed our way.
And tensions rise during a hearing on Capitol Hill, the heated exchange between lawmakers and the U.S. Attorney General. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Canadians are in mourning tonight after shootings at a school and a home left 8 people dead.
It took place yesterday in a remote part of British Columbia. Authorities say 6 people were fatally shot at the school in the small town of Tumbler Ridge. The victims include 5 students and 1 teacher. Officials say the female suspect's mother and stepbrother were found dead in their home. Investigators continue to search for a motive. FBI agents investigating the Nancy Guthrie disappearance are searching the Catalina foothills today. Overnight, the agency and Pima County Sheriff's Department searched the home of a person in Rio Rico, Arizona, but they released him hours later. The man, Carlos Palazuelos, says he didn't even know who Savannah Guthrie was.
I didn't do anything, to be honest. Like, I'm innocent. I don't follow the news.
Right.
I don't watch.
You don't watch the Today Show.
No.
So this is a complete shock.
The FBI is reminding the public that a $50,000 reward is being offered for information leading to Nancy Guthrie's recovery.
Today, the House Judiciary Committee held a heated oversight hearing for the Department of Justice. Attorney General Pam Bondi sparred with lawmakers over the department's handling of the Epstein files. Republican Congressman Thomas Massie says lawmakers discovered the names of powerful men that he says were unlawfully redacted in those files.
He's listed as a co-conspirator, not to tax evasion, but to child sex trafficking.
Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a co-conspirator.
4,700, and we invited you in. This guy has Trump derangement syndrome.
Survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse have also slammed the Justice Department's handling of these files after some sensitive information about them was not redacted, while details about potential co-conspirators was concealed.
Well, now to our forecast. Another day with some pretty nice weather out there in Blaze. We're set to get even warmer by the time we reach the weekend.
That's right. Just in time for Valentine's Day, temperatures are going to be warming up and staying in the 50s through at least the start of next week. Tonight, we will become more cloudy with that mixed chance, mainly in the morning hours on Thursday, especially across southwestern Wisconsin. After Valentine's Day, we look to become more active, and depending on temperatures, that could bring us maybe a couple rumbles of thunder, but I'm not anticipating any severe weather because temperatures will be cooling back into those 40s as we head into Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Upper 30s tomorrow. Friday, we're looking at the mid 40s, 50s. Valentine's Day, Sunday, that following Monday and Tuesday, possibly lingering into Wednesday of next week. That system will move on through and cool us down as we end next week, sending us back into those mid to upper 30s. But until then, we're going to be sitting underneath a pocket of much warmer than average air, marked by those darker reds there. Once we get into Saturday and beyond, those dark, deep reds really overhead, indicating daytime high temperatures anywhere between 20 to 25 degrees above average. All of that is going to fuel potentially one system, which will then kick off what looks to be a series of low pressure systems moving through the Midwest. So let's jump ahead to Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. This is when one of those weather systems is going to move through the Midwest. Right now, we continue to be still a little bit too far north to really tap into any of the severe weather ingredients, but we are still warm enough to get some rain. This has been trending further south over the last couple of model runs, which is some good news for folks who want snow and to really limit our chance for even getting some rain, let alone some thunderstorms. If this maybe stays where it's at or trends back north, we may bring up just enough warm air to really get that solid rain and possibly a few, hopefully non-severe thunderstorms before we go into Thursday and Friday of that week, which will again bring us another system. So we're going to have these kind of back-to-back systems after Valentine's Day through, I would say, the next week to week and a half. We'll just have to watch to see how our temperatures are going to be as we continue to make our way into the future, because they're going to change whether we see rain or whether we see snow. But over the next 7 to 10 days, we're looking at 0 snow chances here across southern Wisconsin, which is not necessarily bad, but it's not good either, because in February, it's one of our snowiest months in the Madison area, which obviously would also mean pretty snowy month for the rest of southern Wisconsin. And we have not even gotten an inch of snow in Madison, and we're looking at having to at least accumulate around, say, 13 inches of snow by the end of the month. So we've got a lot of ground to make up, but at least over the next 7 to 10 days, no snow. 50s Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, with rain at least for now, looking to return starting later Tuesday through Friday of next week.
The weekend looks beautiful.
Yes, just in time for Valentine's Day. I don't think we could ask for any better weather.
Agreed. Thank you, Blaze.
Blaze, thank you. So the Badger men are off tonight after the big win last night. Plenty of basketball, though, going on in the college ranks locally.
Yeah, absolutely. You could call it a backyard brawl on both the men's and the women's side. UW Platteville, UW Whitewater, you name it. That all coming up next on News 3 Now.
And now, News 3 Now Sports, brought to you by TDS Telecom.
The closest that we get to a true rivalry game in college basketball right here in Madison is kind of Wisconsin-Marquette, which is great, but truly the best rivalry in college hoops locally comes right in our backyard. Whitewater hosting Platteville on the men's side. We skip to the second half. Pioneers trying to pickaxe into that deficit, and this will help Bristol Lewis for the triple, 3 of his 15. But later, Rashard Rogers, he rips the triple, and from there it was all Warhawks. Whitewater splits the season series, punishing Platteville 66-51. Same matchup on the women's side. This one played in Platteville. The top 25 tilt lived up to the hype. 80 seconds to go, and Ashley Weir gives the Pioneers their first lead since the first quarter. But the Warhawks would strike right back. Next play, Cameron Nice, the Platteville native, gives UW a lead they would never surrender. And Whitewater sweeps the season series on the women's side, 50-46, the final score. it has been a season that hasn't been seen in quite some time for Wisconsin women's basketball, but now it's prove-it season. Same thing as the men last night. The Badgers down in Champaign trying to fight the Illini, but they really had no punches to throw. Destiny Howell gives the Badgers their only lead of the game. She's their leading scorer this season, and those were her only 3 points. From there, it was all Illinois who bashed the Badgers 92-60. To the pros, where the Bucks look for their 4th win in their last 5, and this will go down as the Cam Thomas game. I told you this guy was a bucket, and he backs that up. Hits the step-back 3 to put the Bucks up 6, and then later to ice it from Dame range. Are you kidding me? Thomas turns in a 34-point performance in his 2nd game in green, making the Magic pay, and the Bucks take it 116-108. In other Bucks news, Milwaukee's head coach Doc Rivers was named a finalist for the Naismith National Basketball Hall of Fame. Doc played collegiately at Marquette and then in the NBA before his long coaching career, including that 2008 NBA title with the Celtics. For the 2nd time this season, Wisconsin men's basketball last night clawed their way back to secure another top 10 road win on the year, and you can't talk about this team's success without mentioning that guy, Nick Boyd. Seriously, he has been a revelation, on track to be the first Badger to score 20 points per game since Michael Finley in 1995. He gives Bucky a swagger they haven't had, but most importantly,
he's a winner, and he's won everywhere he's been, and that's why he wanted to come to Wisconsin, because Coach, I've been to a Final Four and I want to get to another one, and he's he's as competitive of individual that I've been around in a while.
You can just smell it in the air. Spring is almost here, and so is spring training. The Brewers pitchers and catchers reported to Arizona today. The first preseason action is still 10 days away, but come on, if this doesn't excite you, what will? This summer, the Crew will look to collect their 4th straight NL Central title. It's kind of felt like spring outside. If that will continue, Blaze has the answer next on News 3 Now.
Finally, tonight, all hands on deck. Melbourne Beach, Florida. Crews performing a dramatic rescue of a manatee that had become stuck in a storm drain. Utility workers dug through several layers of concrete to reach the sea mammal.
Oh my, it's likely the animal got stuck after searching for warm water during Florida's cold snap the past few weeks. The manatee is now recovering at SeaWorld Orlando. Officials say some rehab is required before he can be released back into the wild. So yeah, they need it to be something like, what is it, 60-some degrees, the manatee?
Yeah, and it's been chilly in Florida, a lot of the nation.
Yeah.
We're warming up here, though.
Yes, the cold has really moved on. We are into the 40s tomorrow, upper 30s for some, but most of us will be in those low to mid 40s, especially across southwestern Wisconsin. 40s on Friday, and then 50s Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week before we cool on down and bring back some rain.
All right, thank you, Blaze, and thanks for watching at 10. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is up next.
Our next newscast tomorrow morning at 4:30. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.